So you want to know why you should lock in with one producer. All right. So this episode is going to talk to you about why you should lock in with one producer when working on your project. So should you experiment with a bunch of producers when you're first starting out, or should you just lock in with one person? That's what I'm going to talk about in this episode. Thanks for tuning in. Okay, so when artists first start out, they're really excited. So what you do is you want to go and get beats from wherever you can for as cheap as you can, depending on how much money you have. So you go on YouTube, you download some beats. You go to beat leasing websites, you download some beats from there, and then you have your local producers around the neighborhood who are passing you around some beats. But the thing is that those guys and a lot of other places, those beats are being used by multiple artists. So you might fall in love with a beat and then try to put it out, and then another person has already registered it, done everything, and then you realize you haven't done it the right way. All right. So what you want to try to do is you want to try to get beats from someone close by. First thing you do is you try to get beats from someone that you know or someone that you can build a relationship with. This is important. Building relationships is important in the music business because you're going to have to deal with a lot of paperwork. You're going to have a lot of agreements made up because when you buy a beat, he still owns the beat. So you're just using it and you get part of the publishing, but he'll always own that beat. Now, unless you get something written out where it was a work for hire situation and then you purchased the beat. They made the beat because you paid them to work for you for a particular amount of time. And then that beat was made during that time. And now you own it completely. And you go and register it and it's your beat. You can do that, but that gets a little more complicated. You need a little bit more money. You got to have some money to pay him up front. So in this episode, if you want to learn about beats and what you should do, this episode is for you. Here's what we're going to talk about. So we're going to talk about beats that you get from YouTube, beats that you get from beat websites, and then what happens if you buy beats from these websites and you don't read the terms. Terms are very important with this situation. So first thing you want to do is you want to get beats from wherever you can, and this takes place when you're first starting out and you just want to sing, you just want to rap, you just want to do your thing, and you're not interested in putting it out and making any money from it. Okay, so when you're doing a situation like that, you can go on YouTube, you can grab some beats and you're basically remixing. If it gets flagged, you don't care. I wouldn't do this kind of thing and post it under my official page. So if you have an official artist page, I wouldn't put it up there until I put it on a separate page first to see if it was going to get flagged and get any copyright strikes on it. Okay, so with copyright situations with YouTube, when you put a song up or you put something up, sometimes it depends on the copyright holder. They'll let you leave it up there. They'll say, "Hey, there's a copyright strike on this. You're not going to make any money off of it, but you can leave it up here. It's okay." Or they tell you that you have to remove it to avoid a copyright strike. They give you a certain amount of time and you go and delete that video and then you're okay. But after you delete it, I guess the system runs another check after a certain amount of time. It realizes that you don't have that copyrighted material on there, and then you're okay. You're good to go. So when you're just starting out and you're just not building a name for yourself, you're trying to find your sound. This is perfect for that. You don't want to spend any money. You don't have any money to spend. You can do it this way. You can go on YouTube, get beats. There's a ton of websites and a ton of YouTube pages that say, "Hey, these beats are for free." But what they don't tell you is what people don't check is the description. You have to read the description on that beat on the YouTube channel. They're very clear on putting it up there that yes, you can use this beat. Yes, they have certain restrictions. Some people say, "Hey, you can use this beat as long as you tag us. So as long as you put our tag in your posting of the video with this beat, then you're okay." But and then there are other things that they say, "Hey, you can use this beat, but you can't use it for commercial release," meaning you can't distribute it. You can't submit it to FATTZ District, to DistroKid, to Lander, to TuneCore. You can't release it in that manner. You can release it for fun. And some people just say, "Hey, you can release it just for social media." All right. So you have to check the comments and check out what the restrictions are, if any. You have to check that. That's very important. Now, when you're just trying to figure out your sound and you're just feeling out your sound, this is a nice way to do it where it's least cost effective. You don't have to spend any money. You do it like this and you're good to go. You're golden. All right. So now what you want to do after this, and you figured out, okay, I'm really taking this serious. I really want to do this. So you watch my other videos and you know that you have to lock down your name. So you lock down your artist name on all your social media platforms. You own your domain name. You have everything locked down. All right. And now you want to get to work and you want to start recording, not necessarily posting. You just want to get recording and get the process going. You want to get a process. This is all about process. So, what I recommend is you want to hire a few people that you can actually speak with. Buying beats online is okay. They have clear cut definition of what you have to do when you buy a beat from them. It clearly states, hey, you can use it for commercial, you can use it for particular platforms, but you can't use it for others. They're pretty clear on that. But when it comes to the money situation and to breaking things down as far as, okay, I bought this beat, it says I can use it for commercial use. I just have to tag them. So then you release it for commercial use. You just tag them, and then some people, some producers, not all, they'll copyright that beat. They will publish that beat. They will claim ownership of that beat. So then when you put it up, there's a red flag spotted, and then they can come after you and want royalties, which they would deserve on the publishing side. But the thing is, if there's no clear paperwork, the percentage of that royalty, it could be an issue. So now what you want to do is you want to get beats from somebody that you can actually speak with. All right. So you want to look for a producer. There's a lot of producers where they have their own websites, and you can contact them and make an agreement. Hey, I'm purchasing this beat from you, meaning number one, you can't sell this beat to anyone else, because that's one of the main issues, that you buy a beat and then that beat has been circulating for months and somebody else recorded on it. They registered it, they put it out on their album, but they're not known, so you don't know that they put their stuff out, and then you put out your song with the same beat. Now, if you're both smaller artists, it won't lead to too much problems. But let's say you want to go and sync that song. Now you want to take that song and sync it, meaning you want to get that song placed on a TV show, on a commercial, on anything like that. So you have to provide a lot of paperwork for the syncing admin person to check off on it. All right. So they want to pay you, hey, we want to use this beat. We want to use this song. Sorry. We want to use this completed work, and we want to put it up on our commercial. All right. I want to say commercial. So let's say they want to use it for their commercial, and they say, hey, we want to get this song from you. You say, okay, you give them the paperwork. Everything is good. And then the song goes up, and then the other artist sees it. The other artist using the same beat. Then they go file a claim. They can do a takedown claim, or they can just go contact the company and say, hey, I own this beat. I own this song. I purchased this. And then they have paperwork that they purchased it from the producer. That's something that can happen. It has happened in the past. Now, because of that, a lot of people that handle sync situations, they don't want to deal with any of that. So if you're working with a smaller budget, so if you're working with a smaller budget situation, meaning an independent movie, they won't go too hard with the checks and balances of checking stuff like that. Higher up, a bigger corporation, they're not going to give you the money that you are owed for your music if you don't have the right paperwork, because they don't want to deal with any legal situations in the future. And the best thing when syncing a song is try to get a song synced that you own 100%. All right. If you own the song 100%, then there's no one else that can take it down. Because the thing with sync music is everyone that's on the song has to agree to it. They all have to agree that the song can be synced. So if you've ever seen this famous clip with Lizzo, the singer Lizzo, she said that her song was out for years before it really blew up. It was really out for like 2.5 years before she really blew up as an artist. But the song was getting placed and getting synced. She was in an Old Navy commercial. She was in a lot of commercials because very poppy, upbeat music. It was elevator music. And she would just get these requests for sync, and she would sign off on it. So she has to sign off on it. The label has to sign off on it. The producer has to sign off on it. And that would be the same situation with you. You get a song, you make it, and they say, hey, we want to sync this song. And when you're indie, you probably submitted it for syncing. Then when you get contacted, hey, we want to sync it, you have to have all this paper in place. Now, if you're dealing with a company that's going to put your music out there for syncing, like FATTZ District. When you upload your music to FATTZ District to be synced, we need to have all that paperwork in place before we even submit it to be synced with anyone. Because once they approve it and say, hey, we're ready to go, all we have to do is just send them an email with all the documents. We get the paperwork from them. We get it all signed off by you, the artist, and then we pass it off. We're just a middleman. We're the middleman that we take that paperwork, connect you with the syncing agent or the admin person that's handling the music for the syncing for the project, and we go back and forth. But without the proper paperwork, it's never going to go through. All right. And if it does go through, it's just going to lead to headaches a year or two later when a person that was on that beat, that produced that beat and wasn't credited or anything, or the artist, so you had a co-writer, they weren't credited on it, and then they come and threaten to sue, and then they have to be paid off. And if it's a small project, they don't have that kind of money, and they're just going to pull it. All right. And then that ruins your reputation with that syncing agent. Now, with producers, because we're talking about producers here and we veered off into syncing. It's very important because that's another way that you can make a lot of money with your music. But with producers, what you want to do is you want to find a producer that you can build with. Find a producer you can speak with. All right. It's one thing to find a producer online and they give you their contact information, meaning you can email them and you go back and forth. But a producer you can speak with, that is very important, or make a Zoom call with or a video call with. You have to be able to speak to that person and build a relationship with them so they know what you're trying to do. Because if you tell them, hey, I know you're busy, you're making a lot of beats, you're shipping them here and there, here and there. I want to build with you. I want to do a project and I need your best 12 to 15 tracks, 15 beats, and I need them set aside for me. And then you can work out a payment plan. So there's situations where you can tell the producer, hey, I'll give you $1,000 for 15 beats. You get to pick the beats. So the producer's gonna give you like 50 of his beats. You're gonna pick the 15. You guys lock it in and you name them. Track 1, track 2, track 3, you name them each one. You get the producer to sign off on it. You have the beats. So now you can work on the project and then you work out the splits, meaning the percentage that he's going to own of it when the product is released. And then you just give him his credit. All right, you can do it that way. Another way, if you don't have money, this is if you don't have money, you can lock in with a producer and tell him, hey, you're going to get 100% of the royalties on the song until you get paid what you're supposed to get paid. Until the amount that we agreed upon, you're going to get that back. And then it goes back to maybe 50-50, 60-40, whatever you guys decide. So you can definitely do that, because if you handle your publishing right and you claim everything like you're supposed to, when that money starts rolling in 3 to 6 months later after it's released, the producer's going to get his credit and he's going to get a huge placement because he has a ton of tracks. He has all the tracks on your album. So he can use that as promotion for himself. And then as the money comes in, he'll start getting paid. All right. And that's just another way that you can do it. And it's going to cost you very little money. It's going to give you less headaches. And then when you start making money from this music, this is when you can start submitting that music for syncing. This is when you can start building campaigns off of that music, getting it on social media, making huge pushes on that, getting on Spotify playlists, getting on playlists on other platforms, and growing from there. And the money will just start rolling in, and you can start pushing other avenues and other music that you can make in the future and build off of that. All right. So remember, one project, one single is just a stepping stone to the next. You release a project and you don't necessarily start thinking about the next project immediately. But when you get that project out there, you kind of have it, you kind of got to have a system in place to say, okay, how's the next one going to be better? And you're going to go through the process of promoting that project, but knowing that is a springboard to the next project, because you're going to have a larger fan base. You have to think to yourself, hey, when I put this out, I'm going to have a larger fan base for the second project, and it just keeps growing from there. So this is why I always stress release singles, release singles, release singles, because you can release the project. So what you do is you release the entire project. You put it up for sale. You get the people up close, and the people want to take a chance on you. Get them to buy the project 2-3 weeks, maybe 2 weeks or 3 before the project is released to streaming. You get them to buy it. All right, that's how they're going to show their support. Then it comes out to streaming, and this is when you really start to push. You were already pushing, but now you're really going to start pushing the music and the album. But the way you do that is not by promoting the whole album. It's going to be too much and people aren't going to know who you are. But you want to have it out there, because if one of your songs hit, you want them to have other music to tune into when they look you up. So you have the whole album out, and then you go and push one single at a time. And you just promote every single song, 2 to 3 weeks each song. If one heats up a little bit more than the other, you stay on that one a little bit longer, and then you roll out the next one, and you just keep collecting fan base information, keep collecting emails, keep collecting phone numbers, and keep trying to do as many interviews and shows as possible, and you'll keep growing. And then the next project is going to be bigger, and then the next project is going to be bigger. All right. I believe in you. I believe you can do this. You just have to stay focused. Don't start spending your money on things that you don't have to. All right. Listen to this as a sign. All right. Check out my podcast. Check out the FATTZ Media podcast. I talk about how you can do a lot of things and putting out your music without spending $1. All right. A lot of people are talking about you need to go to the studio to record your music. Yes, you do need to build a studio in your house. You do need to build go to a studio and pay $25 an hour, $35 an hour, $85 an hour. But that's just not necessarily in the beginning. If you're just starting out, this is for you. If you're just starting out, you can start recording with your phone. All right. Now, recording with your phone is going to bring some challenges. Of course, it would be best if you can come up with $100 and buy a little kit, a little mic with a little synthesizer, something like that, little board, and that'll help a lot. And then when it comes to mix and mastering, you don't have money to pay someone to mix and master it professionally yet. You can get it AI mixed and mastered. Get that song AI mixed and mastered, because listen, the song is going to be a lot better than a song that's not mixed and mastered at all. So if you just record a song, you don't mix and master it, and you just put it out, what do you want? You want a song? You want to pay $5 for AI mix and mastering, or $100 to get it mixed and mastered, hands on by a human, or you just want to put it out just like that? You have a better chance by doing it with AI while if you don't have the money, and then you grow from there. All right. So this is the sign for you to go and get things going, get started. Try to find a producer in your area, in your neighborhood, that makes beats, somebody that plays instruments, and they'll help you build a sound. If you guys just lock in together, and you can make it work. All right. Sign up to the podcast, subscribe to the YouTube channel, check out fattzmedia.com. I'm posting a ton of posts on there about what you can do, release stuff, paperwork. You can get, if you want a press kit, if you're an artist and you want to have a press kit, there's a sample press kit on fattzmedia.com. Now, if you want to know everything that you need to do before you release a project, there's a checklist, a full checklist. If you go to indiesitekit.com, I'm going to put it here on the screen. If you're watching on the YouTube, if you're listening on the podcast, it's going to be in the description. All right. It's going to be in the description of the podcast. So indiesitekit.com, you can go there, you can get a free download of the checklist of what you need, everything that you need before you release the album or a single. All right. indiesitekit.com is the place where you go if you want a custom music website for artists. All right. They specialize on websites for musical artists, where you're going to be able to put your music up for sale. You're going to have your videos, everything in one place. Now, a lot of people, they focus on Linktree. They focus on these other platforms where you have to pay monthly. In this Indie Site Kit, you pay a one-time fee. You own the website. You run and you control the back end of the website. These other places, they only let you plug in information. They only let you fill in the boxes that they allow you to see. With websites, even if you're not a web developer, if you own the website, you can tell the web developer to add and remove whatever you want. And that's like a power that you need when you're trying to control your brand. So this is really going to help you with retargeting. This is going to help you with collecting customers' information. You can get email addresses, phone number. You can set up the way you want. You can have videos, pictures, music. You can sell music on there from your direct website. And there's no other way. I highly recommend it. I've gotten a few people comment about the price, saying, hey, the price to build a website is so much money. Listen, don't fall for the gimmicks. If you go to, a lot of people are saying Shopify, Wix. If you go to Shopify, let me tell you about Shopify real quick. If you go to Shopify, you're going to have to pay $29 a month. That's the starting rate for the site. And then when you add add-ons, like you want to sell your music, you got to add that as an additional thing, and they charge you for that when you want to add the download aspect to it. Now, if you want to sell something on Shopify, yeah, you can add buy now buttons, and they can charge people. But if you want to put a buy now button where a person clicks on it, buys it, and they get a download of your song, then Shopify is going to charge you an additional thing. So you're paying $29 a month, and then you pay the additional fee every month. It's not one-time fee, it's every month. And then when you add all the other things with collecting emails and doing all the subscriptions you need to collect people's phone numbers and to send email blasts, and you add all those things up, all those additional things up, you end up paying 40 something dollars a month. And then at the end of the year, you're paying almost $500 a year. All right. So I'd rather pay one time to have the website done. It's going to be a little bit of money. I'm going to pay one time to have the website done, and then I get the website hosted for a whole year with contact where you can add revisions. So every time I release a new single, I say, hey, I need a new page created for this single. So when I run ads, I can run ads specifically for that single, and I'm not sending people specifically to the whole homepage of the website. So, and that's certain things that you'll be able to do when you run your own page and you have a back-end developer that's going to handle all that stuff for you. All right. So listen, if you're just starting out, just lock down your names, follow the list. All right. Check out the checklist. Go on indiesitekit.com. If you want a free press kit, go to FATTZmedia.com. All the information is in the description, like I said. If you're looking for distribution, if you're releasing a single just to try it out, release a single for free on FATTZDistrict.com. You can create a free account, upload a song, upload cover art, and you're good to go. If you don't know how to make cover art, you don't know where to go, I have an episode for that on FATTZ Media Podcast. Just if you're watching the YouTube, just check in the video section. You can see the video where we talk about that. And if you're on the podcast, same thing. All right. Thanks for watching. Peace.